Do you know your job? Do you know what you are doing? That is what people want to see. They want to see your professionalism. Am I doing what the department told me to do? If I'm doing what the department told me to do, then I am fine, 100% fine. If I marry somebody, the guy is going to be able to file for me, then I'm going to have my papers, which a lot of people who are beneficiary to this are pick that the guy started the same thing that the guy has been doing, and she was so very forced to retaliate back. By the time she retaliated back to the guy called the police on her. And if you are fortunate to live in DC, they still have a lot of benefit for people living in DC that want to join the department. I believe they have, for every month, they pay them $1,000 for their rent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for living.
Hello, welcome back to the second part of our show. We still have Officer Kuijopo from the NPD. Officer Kuijopo, welcome back to the second part of our show.
Thank you for having me for the second edition of this program.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Officer Kuijo, we left off last time when you were about to graduate from the police academy. Now we want to find out from you, and let me also, before we move on, Officer Kuijo, prevention with them, people that didn't watch the first part of the show, I would love you to please explain to our viewers one more time the process it took you from the moment you decided to become a police officer. What what were the steps you took to? You're gonna say that to. You're gonna say that towards the end of the show. But let's go on with this interview. Now, Officer Kojo, like you are now a new graduate. Okay, what is the process? Do you just choose anywhere to go to? Do you choose to be on the street? What part of the street you're gonna go to, or is there any directive that you must follow, a protocol that you have to follow to be in certain places in Washington D.C.?
Thank you for that question. Uh, when it is almost time to graduate from the academy, after the fifth month being in the academy, they believe that you are weird about the district, because during those times they will assign you to some district. They want you to go there to see what is going on, to familiarize yourself with the policing work. And after the fifth month, about to graduate, they're gonna give us a form. They're gonna give you a form to fill out, and in those forms, that is when they're gonna give you the opportunity to pick three districts of your choice where you want to. In the District of Columbia, we have seven districts. We have the first district to the seventh district, and they're gonna give you opportunity to pick out three out of the seven district you want to. Then when you pick three out of the seventh, then the administration of Metropolitan Police Department will pick one for you. The one that they pick is where they're gonna assign you to. But you won't know that until the day, even not the day, like when during the ceremony of your graduation. That is when they're gonna release. We call it an email, a teletype. They're gonna release it out. Then you know where you are going. But you just have, like, they will pick one out of the three that I selected, and the one that they will pick was gonna be announced during your graduation ceremony.
Okay. Now, Officer Gojo, back before we came online, I was asking a question about what if none of you picked a particular district, and for some reason you guys decided not to pick a district, maybe because you felt in your mind that that district wasn't okay, or for some whatever reason you guys chose to, you didn't choose this district. What would happen to these to all of you? Would they actually to do over, or what would happen at that time?
Yeah, that is a good question because it happens in my class.
Okay.
I remember when we all pick our district, as I have said earlier on, and unfortunately, nobody picked seventh district because seventh district is part of southwest, southeast. I'm sorry, southeast, and nobody picked seventh district. They have to turn all our paper back to us, and told us to include seventh or sixth district into our preference choices. And but for me, sixth district part of what I picked, But for those people that they don't include either sixth district or seventh district into their preference sheet, they return it back to them to include either sixth district or seventh district into their preference.
Oh, I see. So for some, for whatever way you'll be, they is either you choose it or they're gonna compel you to choose a district.
Yes,
Okay, I can imagine that because if not, some district will not have policing at all.
exactly. You're
Yeah.
right.
Okay, Officer Kojo. Now you are now you chosen sixth district. Okay. What was the impression? What I mean, I know you probably like when you were doing your when you were in the police academy, you must have really gone to this district. What was it like? Was it predominantly white or mixture of black and white, or just white people or black people? I mean, what is your 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 impression of that district?
Thank you. I pick. I remember very well that I picked three districts, as I've said earlier on. I picked fourth district, fifth district, and the sixth district. And I was so very fortunate to be given fourth district out of those three districts that I picked. And you know, I don't know much about people living in that neighborhood, people I'm going to be working with until when I got there. And when I got to the district, then I discovered that it's mixture. Like we have different kind of uh, people living in that district. We have the Hispanic people. We have uh, the people that they are from the West Africa, from the South Africa, North America, South American. We have everybody living. I can't say like these are the people living in the district. We have different kind of people, different kind of uh, from every region of walks of life living in the
Yeah.
district where I'm working.
Yeah, you know, you're right. DC is what I call the melting pot of America. If you live in DC, you virtually know that everybody from all walks of life, from all nationalities, live in the District of Columbia. Because that's the capital city of America, and
Yes.
you know damn well that every nationality will be living in DC. Now we're gonna move to the next question, Officer Kojo. This is the part that really interests me. Yeah, you are now an officer patrolling the fourth district. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You, I mean, what was your impression when people see you as an immigrant officer? Did they feel like shocked or like feel like, well, no big deal, or they just feel like, who is this person? Who is this immigrant guy? Because you're a black African from Nigeria. So what was the impression, or what do you feel when the people start to see you as an officer, and did they accept you, or was it like, oh man, African guy, man, what's going on?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I remember my first time on the street, and when you finish from the academy, you're gonna there is a program they called FTO. Like you have people that they're gonna train you. Like they train you for we have 4 cycles, and you're gonna do the final. Then they will be able to certify you. Be like, yes, it's good to go. He can drive. He can be by himself. And remember when I finished with my all my FTOs, and I was able to stand by myself to to do the police work. Like you are good, you can do everything by yourself right now. The only thing people want to see, it's not about your color, it's not about your accent, it's not. They want to see how professional are you. Do you know what you are doing? Do you know your job? Do you know your job? Do you know what you are doing? That is what people want to see. They want to see your professionalism in what you are doing. Like, do you know what you are doing? It's not about, oh, he's from Africa, he's from Asia, he's from South America. No. The thing is, do you know what you are doing? And anytime I'm doing my job, I try to put my professionalism online because not my color, but what I've been trained to do. That is what I always do.
Okay, yeah, I want to believe that should be the case anyway. You're not there because you're African. You're not there because you're an immigrant. You're there because you're a citizen of United States and you're there to perform your job to the best of your ability.
Yes.
And that's what I expected from you at all time, Officer Kojo. And thank you for your service. I also want to ask you this. see people at these communities, right? Was there a time they treat you differently, or was there a time they feel like this is an African guy, I can't listen to him, or you've been caught to a place to a dispute, and they see an African guy shows up, especially when you go to some colored neighborhood. What was your experience at that time when you went to these places?
Thank you so much for the question. Uh, there are some challenges that, we face, not only me, but everybody that is working in that department. Because when people call you to what is, to their homes, they called you to come and try to prevent crime. And if people doesn't see what they want, that is when they flip it over. Like they be like, oh, you are not doing what they want. And that is when they start seeing your color. That is when they start seeing your person. That is when they start seeing all this negative part of you. But if you are doing what they want, there's not going to be a complaint. But as I've said earlier on, when you put in your professionalism into what you are doing, it is not about my color. It is about what was the policy that is online with what I'm doing. Am I doing what the department told me to do? If I'm doing what the department told me to do, then I am fine, 100% fine. I don't care about what people say about my color, my nationality, my arson. I don't care about it. All what I care about is, am I doing the right thing at the right time?
Yeah, that's okay. That's wonderful, Officer Gojo. Officer Gojo, I want to ask you this question. Doing you've been officer for 5 years now. In this period of time, have you ever encountered a situation where you encountered an immigrant that you feel has not been hasn't been given a fair part of justice, and you feel that being an immigrant, you have played a role in that immigrant receiving a fair part of American justice?
Thank you for the question. That is a very good question. I believe that question might help somebody watching this program. It might not be you, it might be somebody that knows somebody that is going through something uh, in the United States that can be of help to. I am going to give an instance about one that happens that it's it's not quite long ago. Uh, there was this a lady. She was from not from Nigeria, but she was from the Western Africa. Western Africa, we are so very big. People speak French, Creole. We have different kind of languages all over the West Africa, and this lady was arrested for simple assault. And when she was arrested for simple assault, she was taken into my district. She was crying non-stopping, and she has a language barrier. We have to look for an officer that speaks the same language. And they called the officer to come and talk to her. The officer approached her and asked her, why are you crying? This is not a big deal. This is just a simple assault. You're going to go to court tomorrow, and the court is going to rule this out for you. Now, she said, it's not about the crying, it's about what I'm going through. And the officer told her, explain to me, what are you going through? And the lady said, I came to this country, I don't have no papers. And what I was being told was there was a guy that is going to, if I marry somebody, the guy is going to be able to file for me, then I'm going to have my papers, which a lot of people are beneficiary to this. They came to this country as a single, they got married, and their spouses was able to file for them to have their papers. And that was the same route she thought she's going to go with. She's going to get married, settle down, and the spouse is going to file for her. But that was not the case. The spouse was so abusive. Every now and then, she said the spouse would beat her up, we do all kind of things, but the spouse would threaten her that if you speak out, I'm going to revoke your papers. And she has been doing this for a number of years, dying secretly. She can't talk to people, she can't speak to nobody, until there was a day that it reached a peak, that the guy started the same thing that the guy has been doing, and she was so very forced to retaliate back. By the time she retaliated back to the guy called the police on her. And when we got there, uh, our own job is to look who is the aggressor, who started this. Then that is the way we works. And when we got there, we do our primary investigation, and we discovered that she was the aggressor. She was arrested for only one thing that she did, and this guy has been doing a lot on the name that she want to get the papers. She was not able to speak out. When the officer heard her story, the officer is from the West Africa too. She heard her story. She was so very moved. We have to call a lot of people to come and listen to her story too. The following day, she went to court. The court heard her story. They dismissed the case.
Wow.
And when not only dismissing the case, they have to get the advocate for her. Less than 4 months, what she had been dying for, she got it. She got her papers.
Wow. Wow.
She got her papers with no stress.
Wow.
And if people are able to speak out, some people have the solution to your problem. If she refused to speak out on that day, maybe I don't know what may have happened to her by now. But thank God that she was able to speak out, and she has somebody that understands our language, that can relate with her. That really helps her on that day for her to be able to get justice to what she has been going through.
Wow, that's one thing everyone watching this show should take cue from. Please always speak out because you never know when you can get help, especially when it comes to law enforcement in the United States and whatever you've been looking at this program. All right, now, Officer Kojo, you mentioned something that caught my attention about speaking a language, and I want to say this: has being a being a Nigerian and speaking your dialect, has it helped you a lot in communicating with fellow Nigerians in your district?
Yes, yes, that is a very good question. For people that doesn't know this, I'm going to say, I'm free to say this. For me speaking Yoruba with my department, they are paying me for that.
Wow.
I'm getting paid for speaking Yoruba.
Wow.
And
I
I've remembered a scene when I went to a scene, and when this person saw my name, saw like Koejo, he knew that, oh, you from Nigeria. Not only from Nigeria, you are from the Yoruba. And the next thing he told my fellow officer was that I want to speak Yoruba with this officer.
Wow.
I feel comfortable speaking Yoruba with this officer.
Wow.
And because I am licensed to speak Yoruba,
Yeah.
because I was permitted to speak Yoruba, they were able to let both of us speak Yoruba fluently on the scene.
Wow.
But the only thing is, I'm trying to explain everything
In English.
in English to the officer. Like, this is what we are talking about. And she was able to speak out freely
Yeah.
to explain what is happening in the best language that she can talk
Wow.
on that day. But being an immigrant, it has a benefit because DC is a broad city right now. We have different kind of people in DC.
Diversified.
It's diversified with different kind of people, and your language is needed.
Wow.
It's needed.
So you've heard it. If you're from Cameroon, from Liberia, you can speak any dialect that you know can be of benefit to the Washington D.C. or to the Metropolitan Police Department. Please go and apply. You may be the next person that will speaking your dialect to the community there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Officer Kojo, for that little
You're welcome, sir.
information you have. Now, on a more lighter note, Officer Kojo, this is the lighter note. I know it may sound a little funny, but I'm gonna ask you: have you ever pull anybody over, and they when they see you're an officer from Africa, they think that you may give them preferential treatment?
Yeah. Thank you for the question. You know, I've said it earlier on that I always put my professionalism online. This is not about being in Nigeria. This is not about being from Africa, but mine is to do what the policies, what the general order told me to do.
Yeah.
the way I treat everybody is equal. Whether you are black, you are white, you are Hispanic, is equal.
Yeah, that's
I always advise people what I will do for A is what I'm going to do for B.
that's
I
true.
don't have any preferential treatment for anybody. Even if you see me being as your fellow brother from Nigeria, or not only from Nigeria, Nigeria is big too, but a fellow brother from Yoruba land, that doesn't mean that I'm going to let you go when I see that you have committed a crime.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not gonna let it go. I'm still gonna stand to make sure, like, no, there is a justice to whatsoever you have done. Maybe it is right or wrong. There is a justice that is being delivered to everybody.
yeah. Thank you very much, Officer Kojo. I know now people will know that Officer Kojo is a straightforward man. You do if you do anything wrong, you know you're gonna pay for it. He doesn't pay no favorism or partiality. Thank you for Officer Kojo for that. Finally, we're gonna go to the values you learned as an officer. What in your 5 years of an officer, what values have you learned, and what do you think that those values can impact all of our viewers watching you today?
Thank you for the question. Being with the Metropolitan Police Department for 5 years, I'm gonna say it's a very great opportunity for me, and many people doesn't know this. I don't know this until I joined the department that I'm in the right place at the right time. Many people, especially people that comes from West Africa, Nigeria, that they see the way policing works over there. We have that mentality when we come to this place, and it's not. It's not. I just want to imagine if all of us, like for me right now, with everything that I have, if I go to Nigeria right now and I see them doing, I always look like, when are we going to be advanced? When are we going to get to this level? Because the level where you treat people as a human being, you treat people equal, not that you treat people because of what they have.
Yeah,
You treat people because of what they can give to you.
absolutely,
You
absolutely.
treat people right. You treat people like you give them equal opportunity, not that you have a preferential treatment for somebody, like the way it's going on. But when I joined this department, this is the department that is going to open your eyes to see that people can get their justice right
Yeah, absolutely.
without being looking into the colors.
Okay.
That is what I see with the department.
Absolutely, Officer Kojo. I think you hit the nail on the head. Yes, justice is doesn't have no color, doesn't see no race. It's
Yes.
fair, and that's what it should be. Um, Officer Kojo, finally, I know when we started the second part of the show, I said that for some reason that maybe some folks that didn't see the first part of our show, I just want to quickly run over that synopsis of how if anyone is watching our show today and wants to be a police officer, especially the MPD officer, can you just give us a brief synopsis of what it takes to be an officer in DC?
Thank you for the question. Joining Metropolitan Police Department in Washington, D.C., number one is just for you to have 60 hours of credit.
Okay.
When you have your 60 hours of credit, I said earlier on that before, when I joined the department, you have to become a citizen. You have to have your citizenship before you join the department. But now they try to relieve people because they know that a lot of immigrants, that department welcomes a lot of immigrants,
Wow. Yeah.
because for them to lift up the one of the embargo that affect people to join, which is citizenship. Now they say, oh, if you have a green card, you are welcome. We're gonna take you. If you have your green card, they will still have you. They will still take you with the department. Just have your 60 hours of credit, then have your green card or citizenship, and make sure like you don't have any felony cases on your record.
Okay, and then so yeah, that's wonderful. Did they have to? Where do they have to go to? Did they have to apply in person? Do they have to go online? I mean, what is the process? What is the starting process of applying to be a police officer? What do you have, what is the first thing they have to do apart from having all those things you mentioned? What do they have to do? Do they have to go there physically to apply it, or do you have to go online?
Yeah, everything is online.
Okay.
You go online at metropolitanpolicedepartment.org
Okay.
and .gov. I'm sorry, .gov.
Okay.
You apply there, and they start telling you to put all your paperwork in. They're gonna assign somebody to you to be on your case, and start telling you. They're gonna follow you up with all the process
Okay.
because it's a process.
Okay.
They're gonna follow you up with all the process. Then when you're done with the process, then you're done with everything. They will send the email to you, telling you to accept the offer or you deny the offer if you still want it.
Okay.
And if you are able to accept the offer, they're gonna tell you all the terms and conditions with the offer, and then they will tell you to report to the academy. The academy is located at Blue Plain Drive, Southwest in Washington D.C. And many people think like when I'm going to the academy, I'm gonna like maybe I'm not gonna be able to come and see my family. For people that have families, it's not like that. When you are in the academy, you are there in and out,
I see.
in and out. Every you report there 6 o'clock in the morning, then you go back come 3 o'clock
Oh wow.
in the afternoon. And if you are fortunate to live in DC, they still have a lot of benefit for people living in DC that want to join the department. I believe they have for every month they pay them $1,000 for their rent.
Oh really?
Yeah, for
Wow.
living in DC,
Wow.
they pay them $1,000 apart from the 25,000 that I've said earlier on for signing bonus.
Wow.
They have 25,000 for signing bonus, and every month for 6 months that you'll be in the academy, they pay you $1,000 to for you living in DC.
Man, I think I would like to join it. Oh no. This is for you folks. You've heard of the Kojo mention those things that you need to do to be a part of the NPD. They are hiring. They should look for good folks, no criminal record, no felony. You can go online to metropolitanpolicedepartment.gov. Am I right?
Yes.
.gov and apply online and follow the instruction. I'm sure everything worked out well. One more time, Officer Koji, I want to thank you for coming to my show.
You're welcome,
And
sir.
I would sure like to have you come back again and talk about things that that you do in the community as your role as a police officer, not only in DC, but even in the community that you live, especially the church community that you go to. We want to see what are your impact there. We definitely want to have you come back again and tell us about those things.
I'll be glad to be back at the
Okay,
show.
wonderful. All right, guys. Thank you again for being part of this program. I want to thank Officer Kojo for being part of this, for coming today and honoring our call, invitation to come and talk about a profession. So if you have a profession that you want us to talk about, go to our social media pages and comment on there, leave a message there, or go to our YouTube, our email, royalchild2003 at gmail.com, and leave a message there. If you have a business you want to promote for you, hey, do the same thing. We would like to have you here and talk about your business and talk about your profession. Till we meet next time, America, have fun and stay blessed. Bye bye.